Hey everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name's Amanda and thank you for watching my channel. Today we are going to be making a homemade spaghetti sauce with ground beef, and I am using stuff from my garden that I made over the summer making homemade pasta sauce. So we're going to go ahead and use that, and we're going to be cooking it in our Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. That way I can set it, and then because I have other things going on later on today and we have gymnastics today, so trying to make dinner easy as possible for tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and turn our Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro on, and we're going to saute our onions and peppers and ground beef all in this, which is so perfect. And this is why this is why I really like using this one. Yeah, my youngest is in the kitchen having a snack, so we are going to go ahead and start cooking. Huh, buddy? All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to turn it on. Okay, so for us to turn it on, we're just going to hit the power. We're going to put it on low, and we're going to do sear saute. Just turn the dial, and then we're going to hit start. Oh, temperature's still on high. We're hit low, and now we're going to hit start. So we are on the sear saute, and you can see the digital image here. It's starting to do little blinking lines. It'll go all the way through, and it'll say add food. But we can go ahead and start adding things now because it's heating up. We're going to go ahead and add about a good tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to take a good medium yellow sized onion, and we're going to go ahead and dice it up. If you're using a regular crock pot, you can just saute your onions and your peppers and your ground beef right on the stove, and then just throw it right into your crock pot. Just don't cook your ground beef all the way through. Now that our onion is nicely diced up, we're going to go ahead and put it into the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. You can dice them up smaller too if you would like. Now we're just going to go ahead and stir this around so it can get nicely coated in the olive oil and can start sauteing. We're going to go ahead and start cutting up some peppers. And we're going to also cut them up to like the same size about as the onions. And I'm also going to, this one I actually picked from the garden a few days ago. We're still getting some peppers here and there. It's really super teeny tiny, but it's still great to use it up. I'm going to grab some other ones that I have in the freezer. I should have said that we're using bell peppers. I love freezing my peppers because I love to use it in pasta sauce, omelets, fajitas, you name it. There's so many different things you can do with them. They freeze perfectly. All right, so let's go ahead and get these cut up, and then we can continue checking on the onions and get those in there. So let's dice these up. I absolutely love growing bell peppers in my garden. It's something that I cook a lot with, so I feel that it's so beneficial to my family to have these in our garden. You can see it's now saying to add food. We already have our onions already into it. Hi, buddy. Smelling good. Just want to go ahead and give these a stir. I don't want them burning. I just want them nice and soft. These bell peppers are also from my garden from over the summer. I absolutely love bell peppers. I can't say enough how much I really love bell peppers, and they are great for cooking omelets. I love putting them on brats, or even like I'm cooking here pasta sauce, but they freeze perfectly for a year. I absolutely love freezing these and growing these in our garden. All right, our peppers are now nicely cut, so we can go ahead and add these in and give them a stir. For the saute setting, there are two heat settings. It's a low setting and a high setting. For this, again, I have it on the low setting to saute the onions and peppers in. Look how beautiful that looks, how colorful it is. It's going to be so tasty. I just want them to saute down a little bit. I just want the peppers to cook nicely through before we go ahead and start adding other things to it. But for this, I am using about a good 2 to 2.5 pounds of ground beef. I have tomato paste that is 6 ounces. Hi. I'm using homegrown oregano from the garden and some basil as well from the garden. We're also going to use 3 16 ounces of homemade pasta sauce that I made. So I have 3 of them, so it's a total of 48 ounces of homegrown tomato pasta sauce that I made over the summer. You can find it in a previous video of mine, and I will have it linked as well to this video. So if you are curious as how I made the pasta sauce, you can definitely do so and watch that video. If you don't have any homegrown tomato sauce or homemade tomato pasta sauce, that is perfectly fine. You can just use store-bought and replace it into that. So let's go ahead and check on our peppers and our onions, and we can see if we can start adding in our ground beef. We will also be using parsley as well. So I have my herbs out that I'm going to be using. I have my tomato paste open. My youngest, he's getting into my cabinet, so you might hear a lot of clinks and clanks around here. But let's go ahead and check on the peppers and the onions. These are looking perfect. We're going to go ahead and start adding in our ground beef. These look just how I want them to look. We're just going to start breaking this down. We want to saute it. Like, we want to brown it a little. We don't want to cook it all the way through because we're going to be putting the lid on and cooking it for a good 6 hours. We're just going to brown it just a little.
My husband and the kids love when I make pasta for dinner. And this will definitely make leftovers because it's going to be quite a bit.
Now I am using a silicone spatula in this to stir everything and try to break things down. And the reason why is because this is a non-stick coating on the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. So this just helps protect it so it doesn't scratch up the inside lining. While the ground beef is starting to cook, we're going to go ahead and start adding some of our herbs in. We're going to start with 2 teaspoons of basil. This is one of my favorite to grow in the garden. I absolutely love this, especially when it's fresh in the summertime and you're making caprese salads or just throwing it fresh into a cooked meal. I still have some actually growing out there. I'll probably have to do another round and dry it up. Oh, my youngest is over here moving everything. All right, so we need 2 teaspoons of basil, and you can use store-bought as well. Hi. You okay? Let me go help him real fast. Okay, he's all good. So now we're going to go ahead and... he's getting into everything. All right, we're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of oregano. And this one is as well from my garden. Smelling really good. This one I'm still slowly breaking up. I didn't break it up completely when I put all the dry leaves into the jar.
You can always just use store-bought herbs if you don't have homegrown. And I'm just going to check on the side to break up some of this meat that is just a little bit frozen.
Okay, so now that we have our basil and oregano in, now we're going to need 2 teaspoons of parsley. Hi, buddy. This just gives it a nice flavor. You know, you can't go wrong with making homemade pasta sauce, you know, with what you put into it. So, you know, I mean, I love putting carrots in mine too, and then that way pureeing them. So then that way it adds a nice natural sweetener to it instead of adding sugar to pasta. So it just, you know, there's so many different ways you can go about this. Let me show you how it looks, and we'll give it a nice stir. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stir this up. Put all those nice herbs in there. Some of the meat is still a little bit frozen, but that's perfectly fine. It'll cook down. I pulled it out last night and was letting it thaw in the refrigerator, and I pulled it out this morning, and some of it was still frozen, but we will be perfectly okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start pouring in our homemade pasta sauce. And these two are a little bit still frozen. Now, when I make homemade pasta sauce, I like taking tomatoes from my garden and onions. Obviously, the onions I don't grow from my garden. I have tried growing some, but I get really teeny tiny ones. I don't get nice large ones that I would like to have. So we're going to go ahead and add this, and then I add carrots, and I add garlic, and I add salt to it. And then I roast it in a roasting pan in the oven. And it's just really nice and tasty, and a lot of healthy stuff going into it. Alright, so we have a total of 3 of these that are 16 ounces, so it equals a total of 48 ounces altogether for the tomato sauce. Now I'm going to switch the setting from saute to slow cook. Now that we have a good bit of the stuff in, all we have to do next is get the tomato paste in. So we're going to go ahead and switch this to a slow cook setting. Okay, as you can see, that was a good 20 minutes getting everything into the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro and sauteing it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit stop. We're going to switch the dial to slow cook. We're going to switch the temperature to low. And we're going to set our timer for 6 hours. And it's right there, so we're going to hit start. We're going to go ahead and give it a stir and try to break down some of that pasta sauce that is still a little bit frozen. We're going to go ahead and get our tomato paste in, and then we're going to put the lid on and let it cook for a while, and then we'll give it a stir to see if that tomato sauce is starting to break down. So let's go ahead and get that tomato paste in. And again, I am using tomato paste that is from Costco, so we're going to put the entire can of it in.
I got my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro last year from Costco, and I actually bought another one for my mom as a gift because I was doing a lot of research on looking for a crock pot that you could saute in it, because just it helps speeds up the process when you're in the kitchen and you have to sear something and then put it in the crock pot. This is perfect.
All right, we're going to close the lid, and I'll be back in about 30 minutes to go ahead and give it a nice good stir to see if that little chunk of the tomato sauce has finally broken down. So covering the lid, and we'll be back in 30 minutes. And I'm going to clean up too in the meantime, and so I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, it's been 30 minutes that everything has been cooking at the slow cooker setting. So we're going to go ahead and check to see if that the chunk of the tomato sauce has finally melted. So let's check it out and see how it looks inside. It has melted down. It's perfect. Everything's smelling really good. It smells really good. We're going to go ahead and put the lid back on. And now we have 5 hours and 29 minutes to go. And I'm just going to do some things around the house. And then in a bit, I'm going to go ahead and start getting the pasta done and cooked and ready. And I'll let it cool, and I'll put it in the fridge so that way it's all ready for tonight. So I'll see you guys back in a bit.
There's 4.5 hours left on the slow cooker, so it's looking really good. It smells great in the house. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the salad ready. I love having salads when I have pasta, so this will be nice. I'm just using like a fresh spring mix kind of mixture, something easy. I'm adding carrots on top, some grape tomatoes as well. Also adding some banana peppers. Now here, this is the funny thing. Last night when we were sitting down to eat our dinner and I was having some banana peppers, thankfully the kids did not have any salad at that time, but I had my banana peppers sitting next to my ghost peppers, my habanero peppers. So when I took a bite of my banana pepper, it was the spiciest banana pepper I have ever had. I think it's just because it was sitting next to it, and even my husband was like, I've never had a banana pepper that hot, and he tried it and he was like, it's so hot too. But anyways, the salad was still really good. The kids didn't eat any salad, of course, after we both had a really hot banana pepper. And I'm also adding cucumber as well to the salad and some calamati olives. And just using an Italian salad dressing for it as well. And that we'll put on at nighttime. So next time I will not put my banana peppers and my ghost peppers and my habanero peppers next to each other in a bowl. before I use them. So I definitely will separate them. I put some saran wrap on top, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the fridge, and we'll pull out the salad when we go to have it for tonight. These cucumbers we can snack on over the weekend. They'll be perfect. I love having like little snack trays out when the kids are home. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the pasta ready. I have my water starting to boil. I am doing some gluten-free pasta. I like this brand as well. And I'm also going to do some regular, just normal wheat pasta spaghetti for everyone else. I still have 4 hours and 13 minutes left on my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a stir while I'm waiting for my water to come to a boil so I can get my pasta done. That way I can have my pasta done and ready before I have to go pick up my kids from school. Just makes things a lot easier. One of the pots is ready for me to put pasta in it. So I'm going to do the bigger one in the back. That's how I always do it. I always have like my certain areas like on the stove of when I make pasta for the wheat pasta and the gluten-free pasta. That way I don't get it mixed up. And I am always the worst too at figuring out how much pasta I actually need. And also in between doing the pasta, since I did wheat first, I'm going to wash my hands before I touch the gluten-free one. But yeah, I am the worst at judging out how much pasta I actually need. So we always have leftovers, which is perfectly fine because then that way I can make lunch for the kids or other meals, you know, just need be, and it works out fine. My pastas are done. They are ready to be drained. It's nice that we are doing perfect on timing, getting everything done before we have to leave the house to go get the kids. So now I'm just draining the pasta, and I always put them in different bowls, obviously since it's gluten-free and one's wheat, but I put them in different bowls. That way I can tell by sure like which one is gluten-free and which one is wheat. So the gluten-free has gone in the square bowl and the wheat pasta has gone in the circular bowl. There's 3 hours and 17 minutes left on the clock for the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro. We're going to go ahead and give it a nice stir, see where we're at. And now we're going to go ahead and actually add in some Hershey syrup. I know that sounds crazy, but this actually can enhance the flavors. It makes it rich and very flavorful. It also helps cut back on the acidity from all the tomatoes in it. It just makes a nice flavor adding to it. It's perfect. It's so tasty. My kids are always so shocked, like, you're literally putting chocolate syrup in the pasta sauce? Yes, it's so good that way. Anyways, I added about maybe a good tablespoon of the chocolate syrup, and we're just going to go ahead and stir it in, and then we're going to close the lid back up and let it continue cooking. You can actually add the chocolate syrup in the beginning when you add the tomato sauce to your slow cooker. I waited about halfway through because I wanted to go ahead and taste my tomato sauce, how it was, because these were all tomatoes from my garden that I made homemade tomato sauce. So you can add it in the beginning. We are home from gymnastics, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting dinner going. I'm going to go ahead and make some garlic breadsticks that I got from Aldi's. I loved the price of it. It was $2.19 for 6 of them. My kids really like these a lot, and my youngest one, he devoured one whole one. He really liked it a lot. So we're going to go ahead and get those in the oven. I'm going to start pulling everything out. I'm going to go ahead and start heating up the pasta in the microwave. I got my salad made, which is perfect. And we have 51 minutes and 52 seconds that we went over in the warming stage. So my Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro, it did the full 6 hours, and then it started going into the warming phase because we were gone at gymnastics. But it was still nice and warm and perfect, and it's perfectly fine that it goes into the warming stage. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice stir. It smells so good. It's so nice when you're gone for a while, then you come back home and you smell this nice cooked home meal. Oh, it's so perfect. I just love it. It's so nice that I had everything prepped and ready besides just having to make the breadsticks and then just reheating the pasta. But it was nice that the stuff was already made. So that way, when we got home from gymnastics, I didn't feel too overwhelmed. I was able to manage it all and also enjoy the rest of the evening with my kids and my husband and hang out with everyone. And dinner time is really big for me because I really love sitting around the table and talking and asking how the kids' day was. It's my favorite thing to do, is just hear how their day went. But the pasta turned out great. The pasta sauce was amazing on top of it. It was really nice. I like using the smaller plates for my children, and I like to try to get fancy once in a while with some nice plates for my husband and myself. The breadsticks are done. I'm going to put a breadstick on everyone else's but mine. Mine's not going to get one because I'm gluten-free. I wish I could have something like that, but it's okay. But it smelled great. I know they were really happy to have it, but look how nice these plates look with pasta and homemade pasta sauce on it with ground beef. It's so tasty. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys enjoyed what I make. Thanks. Take care.